Hey guys, today we'll be talking about sausage basics. This one's going to be fairly short and sweet. I plan on releasing a masterclass. There will probably be multiple videos on this subject. I have basically a whole life's experience working with sausage. I run my family's butcher shop. There's over 40 different kinds there. We also experiment every other week where we do a flavor of the week, essentially, where you get it that week or you don't get it again. Some are so popular that we have to bring them back no matter what. Like others, you'll still get some requests, but if it's massive enough, we'll bring it back. But generally speaking, we want limited edition to be limited edition. And let's continue from here. I'm actually going to give you a basic recipe right away. It's not written here, so grab a pen and paper. Sweet jalapeno cheddar sausage. It's one of the best sellers at our store, and it's one of the best ones you can make at home. A lot of people make a straight jalapeno cheddar. Really, the biggest difference is the addition of honey, although you could use maple syrup and the sugar of your choice. I'm just not sure how much that'll affect the flavor. Of course, it'll be a little bit different. I'm not sure exactly how good that'll be. So you would go with 7.5 pounds. I know it's a weird number. That's the number we work off at our store. 7.5 pounds of pork, or a combination of pork and beef, which you would want at least 50% pork. Half a pound of either pickled or fresh jalapenos, half a pound of high temp cheddar cheese. That part is very important. High temp cheese, it melts perfectly. It doesn't disintegrate at high heats. It just has a really nice coating on the tongue. And then I would also go with half a pound of honey. So half a pound all the way across the board. You can definitely increase one or the other depending on if you want a little bit spicier, cheesier, or sweeter. Do it to your taste. And I would go 1% salt by weight. So you'd be looking at 0.075. You could go as high as 0.1. Let's be a little bit saltier if you prefer that. No problem. And when you go to make it, make sure you adjust to your taste. So take a little bit at once, cook it in a pan. If you like how that tastes, perfect, pump it. Otherwise, don't pump it until it's at the flavor you would like. So, sausage basics. It's typically made from pork. You can use other meats and a mixture of. It's not a problem. But yeah, definitely want to mix at least 50% pork for the best results. That's what I recommend. Pork just has a fantastic texture. Pardon me for sausage. It's most commonly used, of course. And I know there was a belief. Well, it's not even a belief. It definitely was specifically just terrible parts of the pig before the lips, the butthole, eyes, whatever organ meat was ground and put into sausage before. That's why it was invented, was a way to improve the texture and season those cuts of meat that no one else really wanted to eat, and a way to make it taste better and have a better texture. However, we're far past that now because they get used for so many other things in different recipes that typically would wind up in hot dogs or in other force meats aside from fresh sausage. You might see it in, Johnsonville Farms or something like that, but that's a pretty bad company as far as I'm concerned for quality. Their sausage is not very good. For the best product, you definitely want 20 and 30% fat. This is for straight fresh sausage. I know, other specific sausages that probably would require higher fat, but those will be, emulsified, which we're not trying to do here. Usually for 20-30% fat, we personally just use picnics, like fresh pork picnics. It has a really good like fat to meat ratio, and that's what I recommend you use. Salt should always be around 1% by weight. Again, and this is at the bottom, and we'll preface this again. When you're trying a new recipe for the first time, cook a small amount in a pan before you stuff it into the casing. If you need to adjust the recipe, you'll be able to do so before wasting the time and your casings. This is an important thing to drill home. Many people have had to skip this step before, and it turns out it's not great. I did it the first time I came up with a custom sausage because I was just like so excited. It was the first time my dad let me come up with something, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I cooked one or two for the room to try, and my first bite was just kind of boring. I need to take all these other casings and start over, and it's a waste of casings, right? And a waste of everybody's time. So don't do that. Don't be like me. Don't be an idiot. Fresh hog casings are best. They give you the most leeway. They usually come packed in salt. Now you want to soak that in cold water overnight. Now, it's probably not considered best practice by some people. I would recommend using really hot water to get rid of the salt first. The salt dissolves better. It also relaxes the casings a lot more. So use really hot water to get it off, and then you could put it back in a cold water to kind of chill overnight. When I go to pump, I use room temperature water. Like I want it a bit warm when it's cold. It's really, really, really tight, and it's hard to work with. It's easier to break. If you're worried about it heating up the sausage, if it's just room temperature, that's not going to happen. The sausage is kept extremely cold. The machine is cold. It's going to basically chill back down, but it's going to be a little bit looser and easier to work with. Now, if you have any other questions, please leave that in any of the comments below. That is it. Like, that is how quick this is going to be. This is just a basic dive. We are going to go much deeper. I am going to be doing action videos on this, showing you guys techniques, and probably a much deeper dive into the science on it as well. There's a lot of things that you can do with sausage. It's one of the best ways to use up scraps, which is what you typically see a lot of the bigger, corporations do. Although nowadays they get a lot more of that, like a lot more money out of that stuff for making dog food. So you do see that quite often as well. And without further ado, that is the end of this video. I know, short and sweet, like I said. Please remember, you can ask me for, direction or help with any problems that may arise. And thank you for your time. Please leave feedback about what you enjoy or what you didn't like, even if it's my stupid hat. Don't care. Let me know what you do or don't like, and stay awesome.